Well, my friends, we are going to look at cycle 8 of planet Fairwind. And one of the first things I want to do is to check my planetary growth for the cycle. This is how many people have been born, how many people may have shown up that we weren't paying attention to, etc. Because this is a house-controlled colony, what we will do is we have a population growth that's already been determined, a 0.008, and then we're going to roll a modifier. In this case, we want a D3, so I will use a D4, and I will just treat the 4 as a 1. So I got a 3, which means I'm going to have a 0.038 for this particular cycle, and my current population is 10,080 times 0.038 equals 383. So we're going to add 383, and I round down, of course, 383 to 10,080, and we now have 10,463 people. And I'm not really worried about weather and seasons. At some point I should do that. I really should. I also already took a liberty to went ahead and rolled for my planetary mining operation for what it was mined for the cycle. So that's out of this, out of the way. God damn it! Excuse my French. And then I'm going to want to do. I should have had that already written down. Trying to figure out ways to expedite videos. I know these videos already tend to run a little bit long. So anyway, I want to know what my event for the cycle is going to be for the planet. So I'm going to look at page 30, which I already have opened up. And I have planetary event charts, and there are 3 of them. So we will roll to see which chart I'm going to roll on. Roll to see which one you roll. So 23, which would be chart 1. Which is also opened already. So, and 11 is roll on an other event chart. Okay, well, we'll just say odd, it's chart 2, even it's chart 3. So it's chart 3, and 72 is nothing. No event is not necessarily a bad event. And then I want to do, because it's a capital, it's a house control colony and a capital, I get 2 ship traffic rolls. So we're going to do ship traffic roll 1, and that is page 51. And we have 3 separate charts to roll from, so we'll roll to see which one. And 98 would be the guild traffic roll. So this is going to be guild ship of some sort. All right. Is there more than one guild chart? Shows you how long ago it's been since I actually did any of this stuff, so I'm working at it. Oh, that's special cargo chart. I must be intending to have more than one chart at some point. Yeah, special cargo chart. All right. Let's see, 44. Merchant ship arrives. Roll Hall class. Don't forget to apply your noble status modifier. Heavily damaged captain owners forced to sell in order to pay debts and crew wages. Roll percentage damaged into the hull. And oh, geez, that's going to take a minute. And we will do that at a different point. Let's see, so 44. So we will not focus on that one at the moment, but I think I want to see what size the hull is. It shouldn't be too awful high. So like I said, we have a hull class chart right here. You can't see. Of course you can't see. I'm out of the picture. So over here, and minus the square modifier is a -50. So wherever I roll here, minus 50. And that's on purpose. So this is a 48 minus 50 brings us to 1, because you can never get lower than 1, which is a class 1, which is, there's a good reason for this. We don't want a Star Destroyer sized freighter showing up and then trying to sell itself to the house, because the house could never afford to pay for it, and you couldn't operate it, you couldn't afford to take care of it, etc., etc. So we know this is going to be a class 1 cargo vessel. Well, it's a merchant ship. We actually can make chart rolls to determine whether or not it's a warship or a scout or a cargo vessel, but we know the hull is 1, and I will do an investigation, or I will fluff that out at a different point, because I kind of want to do that. So anyway, then we have our other ship traffic roll, and roll to see which one of the 3 charts. And it's 98 again. All right, back to the guild chart. 93. It would have been ironic if I'd have rolled 44 a second time. Then we'd have 2 of them, and I'd have to wonder what do they have a beef between it? No, excuse me, 39. If I'd have had a beef between the 2 of them, or what? Guild merchant ship arrives. Roll hull class. Don't forget to apply air noble. Okay, so basically a guild ship, guild merchant ship. So this one's specific. Which is a good thing. So it means they'll be buying and selling cargo from my exchange, which means I'll go do a video on that too, because I kind of want to touch on that. We'll go back to that chart for hull sizes and figure out just how big of a hull we got going on here. Minus the 50. So 39 minus 50, back to 1. So it is a hull 1. All right. So we have that established, and then I need to do a couple other bits of cleaner manipulation. Let's see. Yeah, so we can't mine that planet because it's got a population. They would not be overly thrilled with me mining a planet. And I got nowhere else. Alright, so I've run myself into a bit of an issue here. Let me take a look at things. So first things first, I need to go ahead and bring my shuttle back to Fairwind, because it's going to be needing to be restocked. I'll make a note so I know to do that. And the same thing with the Silver Hunter mining ship. It needs to come back so I can unload the cargo that it already has mined, and more importantly, restock. Which is good, because as on my previous video about the exchange, so in the case that it didn't mine a whole lot, but what it did, I can download into my exchange and help fill in some holes, hopefully maybe generate a little extra revenue, reduce my negatives, do something. All right, so I'm going to look at my ship fleet sitting over here. So all intents and purposes, everybody except the sloop needs to come back to the main colony, to the house, to get resupplied. So both scouts can come back here and get resupplied, and then I can send them out and do some more investigations and things like this. I have yet, let's see, this is where you start to run into space issues. It's like I said, ideally I just make more sheets and put some more tape along the edges to make things so they don't stick. We'll go ahead and stick this on the back for now. Makes it so you can reuse them over and over again. Now, this leaves me with my sloop. Now, I have an option here, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce its consumables, because we are still in operation. And I'm going to use it to make a jump. And so I'm going to use 2 tons of fuel, which means I still got three more jumps worth, or 3 more cycles worth of maneuvers, depending on how I want to look at it. So what I want to do here is I only have 30% of the planet explored. Let me get that up here. That's 100%, and this is only 30%. So I could choose to do another scan of the planet. Should have done that anyway, just to figure out what the mineral resources are, but we're not going to go do that just yet. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and jump to a separate star system nearby and explore. And of course, there's a risk to doing this. You risk running into something that destroys the ship. Now, this is a contracted vessel, which means, in theory, if I lose the ship, I'm not actually out of ship. I mean, I am, but I'm not out one that I came out with. Now, there's something to be note about the star charts. Space is three-dimensional. If you don't know that, I mean, I'm probably preaching to the choir. I'm pretty sure everybody here understands the concept that space is three-dimensional. You can go up, you can go down, you can go sideways, you can go cockeyed, whatever works. So in theory, this is the plane that my planetary, the Fairwind, sits on. And technically, this is mapped, so my star chart location for Fairwind would be 06N14O. And that's what I would put down at the top of my system chart for all my planets in this system. So when it says star system and star system location, the location would be 06N14 or O, depending on how you look at it. And this means I can go up, I can go up, I can go down, I can go like this, like this, like this. So if this is 6, the next one is going to be above me. I choose this to be 5, and then the one below me would be 7. So there's 05, 05N, 06N, 07N. So for simplistic purposes at the moment, we'll just stick on the same plane. And this ship has a jump range. There's your jump range. It has a range of there, right? I'll have to check that one, because that was definitely not right. I'm going to say that it's a range of 6, which is pretty good, but it might be a range of 4. But we'll say a range of, I'm going to look at my scouts and my personal ships, and they all have a range of, well, 6 would be all right, so a range of 5. So I can go within 6 light years, or 6 squares of my capital, and I'm going to keep it close. So I'm just going to go 1, and I'm going to jump over here. So I'm going to have this jump, and I'm going to need, and of course I try to keep organized, but there's so much stuff to keep track of, and it just gets more extensive as you go. All right, I'm just saying, I should have some blank sheets for star charts, and I do have them. It's just, where are the piles of stuff that I have? I would love to be more organized than I am. And I tried to be organized today. I honestly did. I'm sorry. Alright, well, I'm not going to waste so much time looking for it. Basically, what I'm trying to find is I have more of these things somewhere, and that's what I want. And since I don't have one, I will cheat, and I will use the back of a planetary one. And we're going to call this, what is this? So this designation would be 06N system 06N 13P. And we will then put our sloop over here. I hope I just didn't jump into a hazard and blow it up or something. So I'll put it there. And that puts that out of the way for the moment. And of course now we are looking at rolling a, my workspace is always so limited. I try to keep things fairly organized, but it doesn't always pan out the way I would like it to. Alright, so we are going to explore new space since we've never been to the system. And odd, it's chart 1, even is chart 2, so odd or even, odd. So chart 1, and we're going to roll 22. And please be nothing horrific. Nothing. Well, kind of wish they had more than nothing, but nothing is nothing. Alright, this changes, this matters. So this system is literally empty space. There is nothing here based off of how that works, which is good, and I would have preferred a planet. So I'm going to write that down. Nothing. Or you could say empty space. I mean, however you want to define it. But the main thing is now we know that that particular square has nothing in it. So we don't have any hazards to worry about. We don't have something we have to fly around. We would just pass over, as we jump past it to get to the next one. But it would have been nice to run into another system with at least something in there that I could exploit for mining purposes. But that apparently is not going to be a thing this turn. So this is how we got to cycle 8. And I want to go and look at, make sure I have covered everything. So, and come down here. All my guys are back here to get refueled and resupplied. That way on cycle 9 I can use them. It also means that if I need to deploy my military platoon to support my 2 agents over there on the Pirate Haven, I can do that because now it'll be resupplied and in a position to be moved. And I want to take a look. Where's my exchange? All right, so it's because I want to do a couple little minor housekeeping details. Technically, I wouldn't have to waste your time on the video, but I'm trying to get the idea that how we all play this out. So this is going to be the new cycle of cycle 8, and I will unload the mining ship, my second mining ship's contents into my exchange, and I will go through my exchange and subtract and add anything that's new and anything that's been consumed to and then figure out where I'm at monetarily speaking. I also want to do a check on this freighter that showed up and see if it's got anything available to it. And then we're going to look at everything down here. So I have a factory A is producing ballistic rifles, so that's 4 cycles, 1 cycle down, and research is researching AR-2 rifles, so 4 left there. And my research lab is doing research on those 2. One's the fauna and the gargantuan fauna, so let's get those marked down. And we are still saving material for housing concern. I don't think, did I get all the material for that? I'll have to check that. Let's see if I got it stopped. If it is and it's paid for, then it should be being developed. All right? Okay. So that's a short video, relatively speaking.